So I think the thing that differentiates a good trial lawyer from a great trial lawyer is the willingness to do things and try cases in a way that goes against the grain of how we've been trained. My trial team coach used to tell us all the time, the number one thing that you have to get over in terms of training as a trial lawyer is the thing you have to do to become a trial lawyer, and that is go to law school. Because most law schools do not prepare you to just be a regular person and talk to people as you were before you became a lawyer. I think people who try cases tend to talk at juries instead of talking with juries. And so I think those who flip the switch, as I would say, from good to great, really know themselves, figure out who they are, and then they are themselves in front of a jury, whoever that is. And I think authenticity resonates with juries, and just being normal resonates with juries more so than any other flashy trial advocacy technique.
The next thing I want to go into, and I mean, I think you will appreciate this, but this is something I've always admired about you in the sense that you've been, I mean, every time I speak with you, you're always a very positive person. You're always a very happy person. But I imagine that you experience a number of challenges. I mean, one, being a female attorney, but also a woman of color. Like, I mean, you could speak to what were some of the barriers or challenges you experienced on the way to, let's say, getting to where you are today?
It was difficult. I think one of the toughest aspects of practicing in the South is, for some reason, plaintiffs' firms here do not hire minority attorneys a ton. Our bar is not very diverse. And so coming out of law school, luckily the defense firms, have a lot of pressure from corporate clients to diversify their teams. So that was always a struggle. But I will tell you that the primary struggle is in terms of identity. It is in not being concerned about sounding like a Black woman or being perceived as the angry Black woman. Now, you're right. I have a naturally kind of sunny disposition, but, not always. And in having direct conversations, there are always those prejudices that you have to deal with, and they can be internalized. And I will tell you, I had them internalized. And when I went to law school, it was the first time when I started practicing with my trial coach, who's a judge here in Alabama, who I credit with creating an environment that made me feel safe enough to be myself without worrying about, let me be a little timid because I don't want them to think I'm, mad, or, let me hide my emotion because I don't want them to perceive me this way. Or even when it comes to my voice, like if this interview were being conducted in 2002, I would be speaking to you completely different. And it was because, and I think most Black professionals my age have been taught to have, the code switch. You have one voice for white folks and for the world. And then when we're in our own circle, you have another voice. And those are the things that I think hold us back, because I see it even, in our practice. Like if I can't get to know the real you, then I'm hesitant to hire you. If a jury thinks that you are not being authentic, then they don't connect with you. And so those were barriers for me. It's that things that we just inherited that really were ingrained. And I was just, lucky enough to be in a situation and in an environment where I was made to feel like my voice was valued. And so, my natural speaking voice was able to be developed. And that has helped me throughout my career to advance, because I am very comfortable with myself.